What's up, everybody? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Puerto Rock 77 doing a quick Protos Point live stream instead of a recorded video. Just want to, just catch up with you guys. I know it's been a while since I put something on my content. I apologize for the lack of content lately. Just doing some stuff from work that's taking up a lot of time. But I'm still trying to, keep up with you guys, and push out my opinions and stuff. And I just want to do a quick Protos point, and you all see the topic, you all see the name. You need more than Scorpio, and it's the truth. I think somebody has to say it. Let's get the good stuff out of the air. We all know Scorpio's gonna come out, and it's gonna have powerful hardware, which is gonna provide the best versions of games, and push 4K, native 4K, all that stuff. In concept, it's nothing new as compared to any other controller. I'm sorry. Everybody keeps talking about controllers in the comment box. It's no different than any other console. You're always going to have a more powerful console. This is not going to be the end-all be-all of gaming consoles. You're always going to have a more powerful console that's going to push some type of narrative. Future consoles going to be pushing the 8K resolution. That's going to end up happening too. It's always something. You know what I mean? So it's not a new concept that a console comes out that's more powerful. Especially it's coming out a year later and going to be more expensive. It's pretty much like, no shit, it better be more powerful, But the way Microsoft's going, they're going about this the wrong way. They're resting on their laurels. Many, Xbox advocates, that prefer the Xbox, they're rooting for this console to do something, and what we're hearing is, oh, don't worry, wait for Scorpio to come out. Wait till Scorpio, the 4K beast come out. Well, here's my question. Fine. Scorpio comes out. It launches in November, August, whatever. And sure, let's say, some people go ahead and buy it. But what about those who don't buy the Scorpio? What about the 27 million gamers who bought an Xbox One? You got people who bought Xbox One S's last month. You got people who bought Xbox One S yesterday. What do they get? If the biggest thing about Xbox, gaming is to buy a Scorpio, then what does that do for the people who already own an Xbox? Well, what do they get out of the future of Xbox? What do they got of it? What's in it for them? You see what I'm saying? I get the top gamers, the gamers who want the very best experience. I get that. I get, the very best multiplats. Maybe some of you felt slighted and couldn't enjoy your Xbox gaming platforms because of people talking shit and all that stuff. I get that. So I guess now, Scorpio puts you in a position where you're finally redeemed for supporting the brand. And let's say you guys do jump. Let's say some of you do jump to Scorpio, and now you get what you want. You finally get the powerful system with the best version of multiplats, and now you can enjoy gaming. But what about the rest? Because the majority ain't going to jump on Scorpio. There's people who bought Xbox One S's over the last couple of weeks. They're not going to buy a new console 8 months later. So what do they get? Where's Microsoft's vision for them and stuff, And this is where I say Microsoft needs to have a huge E3 and isn't just simply showing people that the Scorpio delivers 4K. That's not it. Good on Scorpio and for the niche crowd that's going to buy a Scorpio to get that 4K. But what about the people who have invested in Xbox One, who have invested in Xbox One S? What are they getting and stuff? And the Scorpio's not the answer. You can't tell a person who bought an Xbox One S yesterday that the future of Xbox, is Scorpio. And they're going to be like, okay, so why did I buy this console now for? Why didn't I just wait? Now I'm going to tell you, some of you have these expectations of Scorpio to do more than what it's really going to do. If you have the expectation that Scorpio is going to provide you the very best version of games and provide you amazing graphics fidelity, native 4K, just a good gaming experience, then you're on the right track. You guys know exactly what you're going to get. All right. Now, if you think Scorpio is going to change the tide of the current situation, and now nobody's going to, people, less PlayStation 4s are going to sell and more Xbox are going to sell. And now Xbox is going to start taking over the market. Let's say primarily in North America, let's say you think everything's going to flip upside down, and now everybody's gonna trash the PS4 and be all about Xbox. That ain't gonna happen. The more powerful console never does that. All right. Now let me show you something. I'm gonna share my screen so you can see something. And a lot of people don't know this. So, so there's one thing I want to tell you all about me. If you've been following for a while, but those who hasn't, that I've been following the industry for a long time. I'm not saying that I'm an expert or I deserve to get paid or anything like that, but I've been paying attention to the industry since 2001. Even earlier, to be honest, going back to PS1 and 64. Namely because while supporting the Genesis and other platforms, I noticed, with things like Sega CD and TurboGrafx CD, 32X, and other peripherals and devices, they were very fun devices and stuff like that, but they never got supported. Like they would just die off, and I never understood why. So whether it's through my allowance, because I was a younger kid, whether it's through my allowance or my parents buying me the stuff, I'm thinking, man, this is so dope, but then there would be no games, and I just didn't get it. So I decided to take my hobby to the next level and do research. And that's when, when I buy magazines, I did more than just read the game reviews and look at pictures. I actually started reading the editorials and what editors are saying, and look at magazines when they're talking about the industries and shit like that. And that's when I started learning about market share and profits and stat tracking and all that stuff, all the stuff, the money behind the hobby, and that helped me get a good idea of what products are going to do good, what products are not going to do good, what games are going to be available. I saw the bigger picture. you know a lot of you who are into um gaming now, but beyond just the games, the industry level, some of you don't know what happened in the past. So I'm gonna show you one thing that happened in the past. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Right. Hopefully y'all can see it, and I want to show you something. I wonder if y'all can see it. Oh snap! What am I doing? What's up, YouTube? Oh, relax, homie. Get back in there. All right, get back in there. Where am I at? You can see my screen. Get back in there. Um, hold up. Don't start your shit. Go right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go right here. Oh no, wrong screen. Right here. So right here. I want you to take a look at this. All right. Look at what it says right here. PlayStation 2 outselling Xbox 360 in the US. And look at the date. 2006, June 11th. June 11th, 2006. Yep, you hearing it right. Okay. Everybody see that? Everybody's watching that? I want you to understand a little bit of history. All right. It says right here, since the release of the Xbox 360, Microsoft has averaged 246,000 console sales each month in the US, while the PS2 has seen an average of 473,000 units, a number boosted by estimate 1.5 million sales in December alone. All right. I want y'all to pay attention to that. The PlayStation 2, a non-high definition console, outsold the 360 in the US. Okay. This console, you understand what I'm saying, was outselling the platform. It says, according to sales estimates from MPT Group, conveniently co-located here and here, the Xbox 3 won its first sales victory against the PS2 in April, outselling the small offer by 89,000. The end of the Microsoft supply chain may have accounted for the leap in sales, but May estimates showed a return to more settled buying trends. Xbox sales decreased by 74, while PS2 climbed. Okay? In short, Sony's PS2 sales remain remarkably strong. So the question is, why am I showing you this? Why am I showing you a very old article about 360 and PS2? Well, think about this. Xbox 360 represents the more powerful next generation console. The PS2 in 2006 was already 6 years old. This is the old SD console. So why did the 360 have so much trouble outselling the PS2 for the first year? You see what I'm saying? Everybody sees that? Ask yourself that. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so I can see the comment box. All right. So I can look at the comment box. Ask yourself that. Why did the 360 have so much trouble outselling the PS2 when technically the 360 at the time was the only next generation console. You understand what I'm saying? And some people say it's 399. Actually, the Xbox 360 launched at 399, and there was another SKU for 299. So it was affordable, especially the 299 one. But I want you to think about that. Why did the 360 have so much trouble? You understand what I'm saying? To outsell an old console when it's a new next generation console with an obvious better graphics. The graphics was obvious. You know what I'm saying? It was fact. 360 blew PS2 graphics away, and it was high definition, which was pushing um, high definition graphics, 1080p, 720p gaming. So it was pushing the next generations of resolutions, powerful graphics, powerful hardware, and you could got one for $300. Yet the PS2 still more people went out and buy it. You understand? The reason was because the PS2 had a shitload of games at a price of like what? I think at that time in 2006 you could get a PS2 for like $150. You know, because it had the mini by that point, $150 to play amazing games. A lot of people didn't care about the graphics at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? The point what I'm trying to say is come November, and I'm guessing the Scorpio will be $500 with the hardware they're hyping with the capabilities. I'm guessing 500, and it's going to be a niche console. You know what I'm saying? It's a premium console. Phil Spencer said consistently it is a premium console for for the gamers. For gamers who want a premium system, which is fine. You know, but that's a small crowd. That's not the average crowd. You know, that's not the average gamers. You know, the average gamers isn't the premium gamers. They're not, especially now this November, most gamers don't want to pay $500 for a console. Most gamers want to pay $200 for a console with lots of games. You know what I mean? That's what most gamers want at this point. The exceptional hardcore who want the bells and whistles are gonna go for Scorpio. The rest, pretty much the majority, are gonna go after the Xbox One S and the PS4 Slim. You know, I can't even say the Pro. I would say the majority will go for the Slim and Xbox One S. Those are the two primary movers. So now, if the Xbox One S is the primary mover, what's pushing people to go get an Xbox One S? You see what I'm saying? That's the key. That's what you have to ask yourself. What is Microsoft doing to push Xbox One S sales? Right now, Microsoft ain't doing much. And I understand everybody says, Microsoft pushed their games towards the end of the year. The strategy is not working. It's just not working. We've seen the PlayStation platform has outsold the Xbox platform over the holiday season 2 years in a row. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the battle of November is fought now. Because all the people that wants to buy a console in November, they're looking at everything now. They're paying attention to what's going on now. Nobody wakes up, on Thanksgiving Day, and then they finally decide on what console they want on Friday, Black Friday. They're already making their choices. They're already telling their parents, Mom, this is what I want for Christmas. Mom, this is what I want for this. You got adults already be like, you know what? I'm going to jump on, I'm going to get a console this holiday season. What console do I get? They start looking at the markets now. They start asking questions from other gamers now. They're doing this now over the course of the next couple of months. And what are you hearing now from Xbox? You know what I'm saying? You ain't hearing games. Not from Xbox. You're hearing primarily controllers, UWP, and Scorpio. And these are things that don't interest the average consumer. The average consumer aren't interested in that. They just want to know what consoles, which games, and what everybody's getting. What's the console? What's the hit console that everybody's talking about? What's the console that's getting the games? And that's the conversation people want to hear. And the people are hearing PlayStation 4. That's the word of the mouth. That's the word on the street. You know what I'm saying? Good question. What console your friends has? What's console everybody's talking? You know. Someone asked who controls work with a new Scorpio. Yeah, it's gonna work with the Scorpio. Everything works with Scorpio. All the controllers, everything's backwards and forwards compatible. The games. I think the only thing that won't work is if whatever VR headset works with the Scorpio. That's going to be exclusive to Scorpio, and it's only exclusive because of the power. The the Slim, I mean the Xbox One S and the original Xbox won't have the hardware power to support VR. And CPR says you wouldn't be saying that if you had to wait till E3, and that's the important part. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, you can't keep saying wait for E3. At a certain point, it has to stop. There is no more wait E3. I can understand maybe the first year, second year. Hell, you guys were ripping PS1, I mean PS4 for the first 2 years. You know, if the first 2 years of Sony being slow with having no games bother y'all, how can people not be upset over 3 years into the game and people wondering what games Microsoft is going to release or what projects they're doing? You see what I'm saying? That's just the situation. You know, here's the thing: everybody's picking and choosing what games is worth, what games is valuable. I mean, right now the biggest damage control on the PlayStation 4 games is or it's niche or it's Japanese or it doesn't sell. You know what I'm saying? That's the damage control. Everybody wants to pick titles. You know, I'm saying this: play what you want and pick off the shelf, but at least there needs to be something off the shelf. Like for example, the Xbox gamers were like, "Oh, we had games holiday." PlayStation gamers had games too. Well, the Final Fantasy was out. The Last Guardian was available. Now, granted, those games you may not like, and they may not compare to Forza or Halo or Gears. I could say they may not compare to that. And then also, a lot of people who bought PlayStation 4s enjoyed the games that came out earlier in the year. Because it's not like just because a game came out early in the year doesn't mean it becomes irrelevant towards the end of the year. It's a game that gets played all year long and is accessible to all those who are new to the platform. You know, just like this year, everybody's bashing Gravity Rush. Everybody's bashing Yakuza. People tried to bash Neo, and they try to use the sales argument. You know, a lot of people forgetting what a gaming console is supposed to do. A gaming console is supposed to just bring games. That's really it. It's a box. It's a box where you take a game and you put it in a box. That's it. Now, where you get that game, whether it's physical, you know what I'm saying? As long as you have the options to do it, you know, that's just the reality. I mean, this is over. We're talking about a landscape that's over 3 years. We're over 3 years now. This is no one. No one's a rookie now. The consoles are not rookies no more. We shouldn't be waiting to see what a company's vision is or what type of support it is and stuff like that. I mean, right now I'm looking at PlayStation just right off the bat. The projects they got are some of the biggest projects they have in the industry right now. You know, you're talking God of War, Days Gone, The Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, Detroit, Death Stranding, Gran Turismo 6, Gran Turismo Sport, which I really don't care about, Gran Turismo and stuff like that. It's just an onslaught of titles that they have already in production. Never mind. And then on top of that, they're in bed with third parties to get exclusive content for the games or timed exclusive content. And E3 is not even here yet. You see what I'm saying? E3 is not even here yet. And look at all the stuff I just mentioned. Never mind the stuff that's already been released, which is the Yakuza, Gravity Rush 2. Whatchamacallit? Kingdom Hearts is coming out. You know, Horizon Zero Dawn, Neo. It's literally an onslaught of games after games after games of just all types of different flavors and quality production. It's just Nier is another one, you know. It's just an onslaught of titles, and E3 is not even here yet. MOB is another one that's on top of my list. It's just, and again, E3 is not even here. While people are waiting to see what Microsoft is going to do, the PlayStation side is just an overload. At the end of the day, the Scorpio is not enough. The fan base, the majority of the Xbox fan base does not rest with Scorpio. It rests with the Xbox One S owners. And Scorpio is not a game. It's just another piece of hardware. Xbox One gamers want games. I'm sure you all want games. And you shouldn't have to wait for Scorpio. But listen, the games have nothing to do with Scorpio. Crackdown has nothing to do with Scorpio. State of Decay has nothing to do with Scorpio. This is just a game for all Xbox gamers to enjoy, and we don't hear anything about it. Here's my thing: we already know State of Decay is coming. We already know we've been known Crackdown was coming since 2014. So there's no reason to hold Crackdown 3 till E3. There's no reason for it. We already know. There's nothing new. Just show the damn game already. They should have been launched that game. This year already should have had a release date even before E3. It's not a new concept. If Crackdown is your 2017 hit and it gets launched late in November, December, I understand why it would be. Now some people are saying we don't know what games. You're right. But if Microsoft have more games announcement, I don't see the reason why I'm holding on to Crackdown to E3. I don't see the purpose behind Crackdown being at E3. It should already have been. It should, at a minimum, we should already have been seeing more gameplay. We shouldn't be seeing a huge gameplay review at E3. Not for that game. Not for a game that was originally announced in 2014. Not only should it not be at E3, that shit should have been out by now. At the very least before E3. Even if it's like May, it should be out by May. See what I'm saying? And then Microsoft shows new projects at E3. It's just bugged out. The momentum, Xbox momentum has slowed down in terms of being at the forefront of games. Because I remember that's a lot of the conversation. That's a lot of reasons why a lot of people were Xbox fans. Because of games. That's all you heard every year. And it was right, I'm not knocking that. That was the momentum. Games. And you guys kept mentioning games. You guys kept mentioning games. But now it's like, what happened? What are we waiting for? What are we doing? What if Microsoft don't show new projects and most of the stuff they show? What if the new projects Microsoft shows are multi-plats? But as far as exclusives, it's the games we already know. Then what? How appetizing is paying a $500 console for? I just don't know what's up. But to me, Microsoft, they need more than Scorpio. That's just a fact. It's not going to cut it. Microsoft needs a big E3 with lots of projects. I personally would like Microsoft to unveil a new studio and show off their first new IP. That would be nice. I would like to see that. I think Crackdown, at the very least, Crackdown and Cuphead, they should be showing footage before E3. Those games shouldn't be big E3 games. Not at this point. That's just my opinion. To me, Microsoft needs more than Scorpio. Now, I know some people say Scorpio's going to depend on multiplayer. Listen, man, let's be honest. A console, you playing Call of Duty on $200 console or Call of Duty on a $500 console? Let's just be honest. Most gamers are cheap, especially at this point in the stage. People are not going to drop $500 to play Call of Duty. That's just not the reality. Majority is not going to go, oh shit, Call of Duty for $500? No, they're going to play it on $200 console. It's good enough. And then on top of that, to really true get the most, you're gonna pay $600-700 on a TV. You could buy a $200 PlayStation 4 and play it on a TV you already own. $200 and $60. You get your Call of Duty on, or $500 plus $400, $900 to play Call of Duty. I'm not, hey, Joseph. It's more than Call of Duty. I'm just talking about multiplats in general, just games. Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect, Battlefield. You could play all these games for $200, or you could drop $900 on a $500 console and a $400-500 TV to play the same games. Most people are not going to drop $1,000. That's not the casual families. Casual families don't drop a G in gaming hardware just to play games. It's just not the realistic option. That's just not realistic. Most people ain't even going to buy. That's just what it is. I mean, do you think there are millions and millions of gamers right now waiting on the doors of Best Buy to spend $1,000 in gaming? That's just not realistic. It's the cheaper consoles is always going to win. The cheaper consoles will always win. That's just the reality. Now the hardcore diehard gamers, yeah, sure, you're going to get the Scorpio, but you're the minority. You're a small impact, real small. Everybody else that wants to play Red Dead Redemption, Destiny, a parent that's going to buy their kid a console for the first time, jump on PlayStation 4, Xbox One for the first time. Those are the prime movers. That's how it is. Those are the prime movers. The prime movers are just the casuals. They just want a good-looking console at affordable price, and that's what they're gonna get. But the problem is, the Xbox platform right now is not advertising itself. It's like nothing's happening. It's just nothing's happening. There's no movement. It's May, and we're still saying we have to wait. June is still 3 months away. Like, holy shit! Like, yo, Microsoft Microsoft's strategy actually went 6 months out of the whole year of just really nothing to say anything about the Xbox. It needs to build momentum. I don't know why Microsoft planned this out, but they really punted it into the stands. And this one, they really screwed up. And they can't do this. At some point, they got to stop. They have to stop. They have to get those. They have to make phone calls. Recently we found out that Ted Price of Insomniac was just waiting for a phone call to see if they could push on with Sunset Overdrive 2. So obviously that's not happening at E3. So you're not going to see a Sunset Overdrive 2 announcement because there was no phone call made. You might see Rise, you might not. Crytek is almost out of business, so you might not see a Rise 2 either. Lionhead Studios is closed, so who would be the one to make a Fable if that was even on the table? I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. Microsoft has to do better. Microsoft has to get the info out. They need to tell people, hey, this is what we got going. I mean, even something as simple as a trademark. I mean, recently, about a week ago, Sony filed for a trademark for a new IP, a new first-person, for a first-party IP game. So even something like that, Microsoft needs to just start telling people these are the projects. This is it. Start releasing the games earlier, so that way you kick off the year with games. Don't hold out for 6, 7, 8 months of nothing, or maybe one title, and then think everybody's gonna jump on Xbox the last 2, 3 months, 4 months of the year. That's just not how it works. Gaming is an all year round thing. You want gaming to be all year round. Start spreading your load all year round, so you get the conversations going, so you get people in the mood. Every month, every 2 months or something, a conversation or something positive about your brand. That's just how it is. But when you got nothing but in the Scorpio talk, we've been doing this for like, oh my God, 8, 9 months already. That's just, the combination of Scalebound canceling, controllers, UWP. It's just not a good look for Xbox right now. It's just really not a good look. There's really nothing to say positive about Xbox other than the continued talk of Scorpio and the hope that Microsoft will do something. Microsoft really needs a big E3 at this point. I don't know what they plan to do, but they should have planned to try and release Crackdown at a minimum, Crackdown, Cuphead in the beginning of the year. Those two games should at least came out in the beginning of the year. Or Sea of Thieves. Well, I don't know how far into Sea of Thieves, but something should have came out in the beginning of the year besides just Halo Wars. There should have been one more big IP, Crackdown, and then an indie like Cuphead, and they should have had that running. You know what I'm saying? They should have done that. And then, at E3, show more Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and then whatever new IPs they have, or whatever deals they have with third party and stuff like that. But they didn't do that, at the end. So now, at the end, of course, I would say the one thing, Microsoft has third party support. And this is the reasons why, a company like Nintendo needs to have third party support. Because, the first party studios can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? So I at least commend Microsoft for that. But the one thing I will gig on Phil Spencer 2 years ago, my man should have went to Japan. You know what I'm saying? He should have done that. He should have went a flight out there. I know recently he did it, so I could foresee Xbox getting Japanese games, but that's probably, maybe he worked on, you'll probably start seeing that over the next year and a half. But he should have done that 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's just my thing. You know? So he go, bro, Puerto, I know you getting the Scorpio. I am not getting the Scorpio. I didn't even get the Pro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really gonna be into paying for more consoles. I just want games. All right. I just want games. That's just about it. That's really all that matters. That's what always mattered at the end. Games that you like. You know what I'm saying? That's really what matters for most people and stuff. I just right now, over the last year and a half, I haven't seen the same conversations in the Xbox community as I have in the beginning. In the beginning, when the Xbox One came out, there was a lot of talk about new IPs like Titanfall and Rise and Sunset Overdrive and Ori and the Blind Forest. And you guys were just talking about games, and then something changed. It's just you just don't hear it as much no more. You don't hear the same conversations now. It's just Scorpio. But I'm thinking not everybody's going to be talking about Scorpio. Majority ain't talking about Scorpio. Majorities are keeping what they have, and they just want more content on what they already have. So it just gets me wonder. It just makes me wonder what Microsoft is doing. But we'll see. I really do hope Microsoft and Phil Spencer do something. You know what I'm saying? I hope they do something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's create new studios or they hire, some developers to create projects exclusively for, Xbox, Windows 10, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I hope they do something. What I hope I don't see is this year's E3 is nothing more than last year's E3, but in 4K, where they just take the same games, but this time they present it as, hey, look, it's in 4K, 16. No, that's not going to be good enough. I know they're going to unveil the Scorpio and they're going to provide more specifics, but I really hope Microsoft, whether it's through their own internal studios or if they created new studios or if they hire, other studios to make games for the Xbox, but they do something to push Xbox gaming. And I hope Microsoft's strategy isn't simply we're just going to show superior versions of multiplats because of Scorpio. I hope that's not the strategy they adopt. You know what I'm saying? I hope that's not it. I hope we see lots of projects on that platform. So that way, yeah, sure, it'll be best on Scorpio, but at the same time, Xbox One S and vanilla Xbox One owners will enjoy these projects. That's really what comes down to it, and that's it. But at the end, Microsoft, you need more than Scorpio. That's just at this point, it's evident Scorpio's not enough. You need studios, you need IPs, you need to tell people, you need to tell gamers this is what we're doing, this is what we're coming out with. It cannot just be whittled down to, hey, we got the best game, we got the best version of multiplats because Scorpio's the most powerful console out now. That ain't gonna work. That's not it. That's not enough. Bring out the games. Good luck at E3. But that's it. That's just my point. All right. Hey, thanks for rocking out with me. I appreciate y'all stopping by. I know it's kind of late, but anyway, I appreciate it. All right. But this is a little bit of Porter's point. All right. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers and everything. All right. Stay tuned in April, where 60 Frames No Lag podcast will be returning shortly after April 14th, I think. The specific date will be April 19th. That's the return of 60 Frames No Lag. It might be sooner, depending if my schedule lines up. But anyway, like, subscribe. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for the content. I'm so happy I have a good mixture of just gamers on every platform come to this channel, and that's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. Check you out. You know this sound. Y'all have a good night. Take care.